Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel and welcome to another reading vlog where I'm gonna be reading Throne of Glass. So Throne of Glass is book one in the Throne of Glass series, which is a fantasy romance series. And I have been wanting to read this series and the other series by this author for so long. And the reason why I haven't is because I don't like romance. And like, I'm pretty sure that it is a big part of these series. So that is why I was kind of hesitant to read them, but we are finally here and I am very excited to, get to know this world and these characters and this whole story. And I mean, I feel like these books are so loved and like I want to know what they're about. So yeah, I just want to say as well that there are spoilers in this reading vlog, and having said that, let's get into it. Okay, I am on page 136, which is 1/3 into Throne of Glass, and we are following Selena, and she is or used to be an assassin, and she was captured and has been in prison for a year, and she is visited by the prince who's called Dorian and the captain of the royal guard. I think that's what he is. I've literally read 130 pages and I still get the titles and names wrong. But yeah, I think he's the captain of the Royal Guard and he's called Kale. It's like Chaos, but with an L instead of an S at the end. And Google told me that I'm supposed to pronounce it as Kale. So Kale. And Dorian tells Selena that his father, the king, is looking for a champion. And so he's going to host a competition to choose his champion. And so there are going to be 23 contestants. And after they win the competition and become the king's champion, that person, whoever they are, they will be given their freedom after 6 years. But Dorian said that he would be able to negotiate with his father to give Selena's freedom in 5, but then she wanted 3, so they settled on 4. And she obviously wants her freedom back, and she knows that she doesn't have another way to escape where she is because she has tried it before and she almost made it, but she didn't. And anything would be better than her current situation, so she agrees. And while they are on their way to the palace where the competition will be held, they are like going through several places, obviously, and one of them is Brennan's Forest. And someone says, "My father used to tell me stories about it being full of fairies. They're all gone now, along with those damned wretched fae." And Selena says, "King Brennan was fae, and Oakwald is still his. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the trees remember him." Before Atherland began its conquest, this forest was clothed in magic. The denizens of this place had once been fairies, gnomes, sprites, nymphs, goblins, more names than anyone could count or remember, all ruled by their larger human-like cousins, the immortal fae, the original inhabitants and settlers of the continent. The fairies and fae fled, seeking shelter in the wild, untouched places of the world. The king of Atherland had outlawed it all, magic, faes, fairies, and removed any trace so thoroughly that even those who had magic in their blood almost believed it had never really existed, Selena herself being one of them. Magic had completely and utterly disappeared on its own accord. Perhaps it had realized what horrors were coming. So I'm actually very interested in that part, like magic and magical beings. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're gonna learn more about that, but I'm hoping it happens soon because that is very interesting. And then they get to the palace, they like give Selena a tour, and she really wants some books from the library, but like they all belong to the king. So she asks Dorian for some books, and he sends them to her, and like with a letter, and they're basically gonna have like a book club because they're gonna discuss the books, but then he never really cares about the books that she's reading. Anyway, that's a whole thing. But she also does, I mean, she doesn't talk to the king, like the king talks to all of the contestants, and like he kind of explains the rules, and basically says, over the next 13 weeks, you shall each dwell and compete in my home. You will train every day and be tested once a week, a test during which one of you will be eliminated. We will add additional elimination tests as we see fit. The week after Eulemas, the 4 remaining champions will face each other in a duel to win the title. So that's how the contest is going to go. And actually, before the day before the first test, one of the contestants is found dead. And when I say dead, I mean killed. And then they do have the first test. And basically, that first test is that they are given like a bow and arrows, I think 5 arrows, and they have to, hit the targets, and whoever has the worst aim will be eliminated. And Selena is an icon, and she obviously has great aim. And yeah, I mean, someone's eliminated, and then I think it was like 3 or 4 days after that, another contestant tries to escape and they kill him. And then, I mean, the last thing that we see really is that Selena is like training, and she's actually like training with a princess slash former princess that is there, and she's like sparring with her, and then the prince appears there, and Selena tells him to spar with the princess, and she's like watching him, and she's thinking that she wants to kiss him, and I'm just like, no. And that was the last thing that happened. Like, we are about to go into the second test, but we haven't gotten there yet. So there is where I'm at. And I am definitely enjoying it. And I mean, I expected it to be like way more violent. But then I guess like this is YA, so maybe it shouldn't be that violent. But I don't know, like this is not exactly what I was expecting. But I do really like Selena. She is very funny. And I really don't like Dorian, and obviously not interested in having him and Selena together. And I mean, actually, I was thinking that the ship would be Selena and Kale. Not that I like was invested in that, like I didn't care, but I also didn't hate it. But like when she was thinking that she wanted to kiss Dorian, I was like, no, thank you. So definitely not enjoying that. But the rest, I mean, I'm not like obsessed with it, but I'm liking it. I mean, so far so good. I'm having a good time, and yeah, I will read another third. Like I said, I really want to learn more about like the world, the magical part, and also about Selena herself. And yeah, that's it. That is it. I am gonna read probably, like I said, another third, and I will be back. Okay, so I am on page 270, and we obviously keep getting some of the tests of the competition. We also keep getting a lot of contestants dying, like before each test. They are found dead, they are found murdered, they are found like with missing organs, and some of them are like partially eaten. And they also have like word marks on them. I don't know if that's how you say it, and I also don't exactly know yet what they are, but obviously there's some marks, and they're, I think, like magical in some way. But anyway, that has been happening. And then Selena finds like a secret passage, and it leads to a way out, and there are boats, and she considers if she should just run away. But she knows that if she does like try to run, there will be people after her, and if she stays and wins the competition, she will actually gain her freedom, so she decides to stay. But, if she ever needs to run, she already knows a way out. And then she has a dream, and I would like to find it. Okay, so she has a dream, and she's dreaming of a queen who has been dead for many, many years, and she's called Alina. And it says here, Selena stared at her blankly, but then understood the gargoyles on the clock tower, because she was talking about the 8 guardians. And then the queen says, they guard the portal between our worlds. We have managed to buy some time, and I was able to sleep past. You must listen to what I tell you. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything has a purpose. You were meant to come to this castle, just as you were meant to be an assassin, to learn the skills necessary for survival. Something evil dwells in this castle, something wicked enough to make the stars quake. Its malice echoes into all worlds. You must stop it. Forget your friendships, forget your debts and oaths. Destroy it before it is too late, before a portal is ripped open so wide that there can be no undoing it. You must win this competition and become the king's champion. You understand the people's plight. Irelia, which is like their continent, whatever, it's the land, needs you as the king's champion. And then she gives her a necklace, I think it was a necklace. And when Selena wakes up, she has the necklace in her hand because she says it will like protect her. So, that is happening. And like I said, the contestants that are found dead, they have word marks. And then like Selena is like, she goes to the library and is trying to read about like word marks and word portals, something like that. And then she says, some theories suggest the mother goddess is just a spirit from one of these other worlds, and that she strayed through something called the word gate, not word portal, word gate, and found Irelia in need of form and life. So there's that. And yeah, like I said, we have more tests, we have more deaths. There are only, I think, 6 contestants left where I stopped. And also where I stopped, like pretty much the last, not the last, but one of the last things that happened is that basically Selena is getting closer to the prince, Dorian, which I still don't like. But anyway, they're getting closer and they're like taking a walk or whatever, and he sees her necklace and he kind of like recognizes it. And he says, Alina, first queen of Adarlan, had a magical amulet. In the battle with the Dark Lord, Gavin and Alina found themselves defenseless against him. He was about to kill the princess when a spirit appeared and gave her the necklace. And when she put it on, Erawan couldn't harm her. She saw the Dark Lord for what he was and called him by his true name. It surprised him so much that he became distracted and Gavin slew him. They called her necklace the Eye of Alina. It's been lost for centuries. And so, like, he doesn't think that hers is the actual necklace because, like he says, it has been lost for centuries. But he knows that it looks like it and thinks like it's like just some kind of copy. But like now we know what the necklace exactly is. And then the actual last thing that happened is that I think I said that there was like another princess or former princess that was there at the palace. And she was like getting closer to Selena and like pretending to be her friend. But then like literally the last thing that I read, basically she says something to Selena that makes her see that she has been like lying to her and that she has been betraying her and like using her. And then it says here, but Nehemia, who is the princess, came from a conquered kingdom, and the king of Adarlan had ripped the crown off her father's head and stripped his title from him. And the people of Ailwe, obviously I don't know how to say that, were being kidnapped in the night and sold into slavery, right along with the rebels that rumor claimed Nehemia supported so fiercely. And 500 citizens had just been butchered. Selena's eyes stung as she spotted the guards loitering in armchairs in the great room. Nehemia had every reason to deceive them, to plot against them, to tear apart this stupid competition and send everyone into a tizzy. Who better to target the criminals living here? No one would miss them, but the fear would seep into the castle. But why would Nehemia plot against her? And yeah, that is where I'm at. That is the last thing that I have read. And I mean, my feelings and my thoughts are pretty much the same as they were in my other update. Like, I am liking it, I am enjoying it, but I'm not loving it. And I just feel like the competition is really not what I was expecting it to be. Like I was expecting, I think I already said, I was expecting them to like fight each other, but they're just performing a lot of different tasks and tests. So again, that is just not what I expected. And I mean, I am actually liking all the fantasy parts, all the little bits of information we are getting about the actual fantasy of this world. And I'm not liking the romance, which I'm sure shocks a total of 0 people. And yeah, I mean, I still really like Selena. I just feel like I wanted to see her actually being as iconic as she and like everyone else claims that she is. And I mean, I guess that we probably see that in Assassin's Blade. I think that's what it's called. But I decided to start with this one because I feel like I would never connect as well to characters like in short stories. So I decided to start with, a like novel. But yeah, I don't know. So far, she hasn't really been that, iconic assassin that everyone says that she is. So yeah, it's fine. I'm enjoying it. But I also heard that it gets like better and better as the series progresses. So like this is a lot of people's least favorite in the series. So I'm not worried that I'm not absolutely loving this. But yeah, that's it for now. I will finish it and I will be back. Okay, so I have finished the book, and pretty much the first thing that happened, or like one of the first things that happened in this last third, was that Dorian gave Selena a puppy, and I was like, maybe I have to reconsider the like not liking him thing. Like I didn't ship them, but maybe I'll reconsider not liking him, especially because I don't have a reason not to like him. I just like don't vibe with him for some reason. But yeah, he gave her a puppy, and then there was like a ball at the palace, and Selena was not invited, but she decided to go anyway, and she is like dancing with Dorian, and then he kisses her, and she's like, "Why am I kissing the prince?" And I was like, "Yeah, why are you kissing him?" But anyway, moving on. She was like again studying about the like word marks and the word things, and then she read this. For sacrifices to the Ritharak, using the victim's blood, mark the area around it accordingly. Once the creature has been summoned, these marks guide the exchange. For the flesh of the sacrifice, the beast will grant you the victim's strength. And she realizes that that's what's happening. That's like how all the competitors are dying, like before the tests. But she doesn't understand if it is Nehemia who is doing all this, like summoning these creatures, she doesn't understand why she would be like killing those competitors instead of killing like the royals, because those are the people that she should hate and that she does hate. So like Selena's pretty confused, and then she finds Kane, who is one of the other contestants. And she realized that he is the one who has been doing all that, because he's also been getting like stronger and stronger, but she thought that he was, just training, practicing, but no, he's getting stronger because he's taking the strength from the people that those creatures are killing. And then he leaves her there like with the creatures to be attacked, and she is attacked, but she manages to escape. And then Nehemia finds her and heals her because she has powers. And then Selena warns one of her, her only sort of friend in the competition, that like she tells him what's happening and that he should run, because if he doesn't, he will, might get killed by those creatures. And so he runs away, and then they are down to only 4 competitors. And so it's time for like the final duel where they are finally gonna fight each other. And Selena first fights with a guy whose name I don't remember, but she wins. And then the other duel is Kane against someone else. And so the final duel will be Selena against Kane. And between like the first and the second duel, they are like served wine to the winners of the first duel. And Selena's wine is poisoned, like not enough to kill her, but enough that she will be like weak. and Cain would kill her. And then obviously she is trying to find Cain, but she's very weak. And then she sees like Queen Elena, but it's only she that can see it, or I mean, we think so. And she, like the queen takes the poison from her, and then she can fight Cain, and she wins. And then she's like, you know, named the winner, but Cain was gonna like stab her in the back or something, and Chaol actually kills Cain. And then Selena is with Nehemia again, and Nehemia is explaining like about her powers and how she actually helped like save Selena in the fight. And she says, "My gifts enable me to see what others normally cannot. The blood vein Kaltain put in your wine made you see it too. What lurks beyond the veil of this world? I don't think Kaltain intended that effect, but it reached your blood in that way. Magic calls to magic." And then she's talking about the word marks, and she says, "I know all about them. I know how to read them and how to use them. My entire family does, but we keep it a secret, passed down from generation to generation. They are only to be used as a last defense against evil or in the gravest of illnesses." That fool Cain knew enough about the word marks to summon the creature, but didn't know how to control them and send them back. I've spent months banishing and destroying the creatures he summoned. That is why I've sometimes been so absent. And then she finally says, "With the word marks, I was able to open a portal into one of the realms of the other world and led through Elena, first queen of Atherland." So, like I said, Selena was not actually the only one who was saying Elena. Nehemia was as well. Also, like, I keep, referring to the book because since I'm still so confused, I want to try to get it as right as I can. But I'm sure I'm getting things wrong anyway. And then Selena, like, ends things with Dorian because she's going to be the king's champion and he's a prince. And she doesn't think that, they should be together. And I mean, I don't either, not for that reason, but just because I don't want them together. And then, like, Selena has sort of a conversation with Queen Elena again. And the queen is saying, "I was sleeping, a long, endless sleep, and I was awoken by a voice. And the voice didn't belong to one person, but to many. Some whispering, some screaming, some not even aware that they were crying out, but they all want the same thing. And when you are ready, when you start to hear them crying out as well, then you will know why I came to you, and why I have stood by you, and will continue to watch over you, no matter how many times you shove me away." So, like, that's intriguing. And then Selena, like, signed the contract to be the champion, and that is how it ended, pretty much. And so, let's go into my final thoughts. So, starting off with the characters, as I usually do, I really liked Selena. I thought she was very funny. She was very, like, sassy, and I really liked her personality. And like I said, I just would have liked to see her being, like, as iconic as she's supposed to be. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna see her being iconic in the next books. So, I mean, I'm fine with that. And then Chaol, like, he was okay. Like, I liked him, but also I didn't really connect to him that much, so I didn't really care. Like, literally, he was okay. And then Dorian, like I said, I don't like him, but I don't really have a reason not to. I just don't vibe with him. I don't know why. And Nehemia is definitely like a very cool character, and I want to learn more about her and her powers. And I mean, I hope we get to do that as well in the future. Now, in terms of the plots, I was very interested in all of the little fantasy things that we had, and I'm very intrigued about all of that. And then the competition was definitely underwhelming because it was not what I was expecting it to be. But I mean, the dual part of the competition was a little more fun. And I mean, the end of the book as a whole was definitely more fun and more exciting. And also, like, I didn't like the romance, like I said, but I mean, don't take my word for it. I am the last person you should take opinions about romance from, so like, totally ignore everything I said about that. And yeah, I mean, it was definitely fun, and I think it was like a good start to the series, and I will definitely read the rest, and I'm excited to see where it goes. And I gave this one 3.5 stars. And so yeah, that is it. That is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you have enjoyed it, and if you did, give it a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!